Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here and welcome to the very first video in today's lineup of content. Now, firstly, I wanted to kick it off with saying that we have been seeing a bunch of stuff about the new car pack coming to Forza Motorsport 7 circulating around in places like Twitter and Reddit. If you're like me, you're always looking for new information on things, mostly through Twitter and Reddit, just because that's usually where stuff goes first. But by the way, also, in regards to this video versus my last video that I filmed in Horizon 3, as you can see, completely smooth gameplay. No hiccups, no lag, no nothing. So I don't know what happened in that other video. It was just having a bunch of weird hiccups and a bunch of weird lag. This video, no problem. 100% fine, super smooth gameplay. Now, going forward. So there's been a couple different clues that have been put out there, and honestly, the clues are all a little general, but there have been a lot of people that have been really in depth about digging into these clues. And by the way, also, we know based on the picture that they released on Twitter, we know that the Ferrari Superfast, the 812 Superfast, will be coming to Forza Motorsport 7. So that's really cool that we're going to get a big front-engine GT Ferrari, a new front-engine GT Ferrari coming into the game. Those are always fun to drive, always fun to play with, always fun to drift, to be honest. Those things are ridiculously fun to drift. And, I mean, some people are like, oh, that's cheating, it's got too much power. And I'm like, I mean, so what if it's got more power than your S13? Why does, I mean, okay. They're like, well, it's less skill, bro. And I'm like, okay, listen. It takes a different set of skills and a different set of practice to drift a low horsepower car versus a high horsepower car. They both require practice and different techniques. End of it. So, moving on to some of the other cars and some of the other clues. Now, there's a lot of different things that go into this, but clue number two, a lot of people are thinking the McLaren 720S because 1985 was when Tony Hawk first pulled off a 720 spin, supposedly. I haven't fact-checked that, but I figure that it's true. Now, these are all, by the way, going through what people have kind of talked about on Reddit, and then, like I said, the Superfast released on Twitter. Now, another one, a lot of people are saying that clue number 7 is an Alfa Romeo, because clue number 7, it says, that by which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So they're saying, okay, so it's a line from Romeo and Juliet, and they're saying that it's either, you know, a one-off Alpha, maybe a, you know, maybe the Stelvio. See, that's the thing, is a lot of people are like, I mean, a lot of people are trying to, you know, down on the Stelvio, because, like, they're like, oh, it's an SUV, and SUVs are dumb in Forza. And I mean, like, SUVs are not necessarily the coolest thing in the world, but the Stelvio is pretty cool because it's so damn fast. The Stelvio is such a ripper that it will just devour everything in its path, regardless of whether or not that thing is an SUV or a lot of cars, or and supposedly the Stelvio actually handles really well from what I've heard. Now, diving further into this, there's a couple of other clues that people are saying. So they're saying clue number 5, they're saying, so somebody said that since clue number 5 reads, it is only 16.96 miles long and has existed for more than 100 years, you should drive it. So somebody's guess was SR 904 in Washington is 16.94 miles long and dates back to 1913, which is over 100 years now, so Porsche 904. It's a really good guess. We'll see if it plays out for him. There's a lot of, like, I don't know, and a lot of different things. Like, clue number 6 is, it is a relatively compact missile. So does that mean a really skinny, narrow, classic open-wheel race car? Does that mean, because there's a massive catalog of those to choose from. There's, like, some people think that it's there's a couple different options. Like, there's been talk of it being, like, say for example, the Dodge Tomahawk, which is a really weird one, because that's like basically a bike, which doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, why would that? I mean, it's literally a Viper engine bike, so I don't know why they would be guessing that. Somebody said the 1911 Marmon Wasp, but that, I mean, again, you're going from like a 90s car to like a you know, early 1900s car. So the only truly confirmed cars that it seems like so far are the 812 and the 720S. Those cars both are awesome, and they're both incredibly exciting to have coming to the game. I'm personally very excited about it, and I think you guys, honestly, if there's any cars that are rumored here that I think that you're interested in, then I think you should get excited about it, because honestly, and by the way, this pack and the next pack are covered under Car Pass if you're a Car Pass holder for Forza Motorsport 7. So there's been a little bit of confusion around that, but as far as I can understand, the Car Pass covers this pack and the next pack. So rest assured that the Car Pack will cover those for you. So, with that being said, what am I most excited for? Well, I am pumped for that Ferrari, the 812 Superfast. That thing is going to be a monster. I'm also pumped for the 720. I mean, I feel like those are the two a lot of people are excited for, a lot of people are pumped for, just because they're really special cars, they're really fast cars, and they'll really put they're here to put themselves on the map. They're here to make a name for themselves, and I think that the 812 is going to be a joy to drive. It's going to be fun to drift. I'm going to really put in a lot of hours with it, and I think that not only that, but I'll bring you guys a build of it here on the channel if you guys are interested in that. But also, I'm curious as to see what ends up coming from that whole alpha clue. I feel like it's probably going to end up being the Stelvio. A lot of people don't want it to be the Stelvio, but I'm okay with it being the Stelvio. Just because the Stelvio, to me, is a really cool SUV. I'm okay with having it in the game. I think it represents progress for performance SUVs as a whole. And even though a lot of people are like, it's not a sports car, I don't want it, I'm like, well, be more open. You know what I mean? Be more open to the fact that maybe an SUV that's been really well-tuned and set up, I mean, it's not a freaking Ford Explorer. Because when people think SUVs, they're like, oh, Ford Explorer, boring, next. Whereas the Alfa Stelvio is not a Ford Explorer. It's not anything like a Ford Explorer. It's not anything like a Chevy Tahoe. For good reason. It is a performance SUV, and it should be very interesting and very fun to drive. So, if you guys enjoyed this rundown of the clues for the next car pack in Forza Motorsport 7, don't forget to click that like button. Tell me in the comments below what y'all thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.